Fantastic. Hello and welcome to another IBB10 Sunday Vibe. We all know now what IBB10 stands for, so I ain't going to explain it anymore. But I am joined by the usual hosts. We have Billy Wood down to my right. How are we, Bill?
Good. Big, excuse me, I'll say it again. No Hastings game this weekend, so got out and about, went and watched 2 games yesterday. Went to a game today as well because I had no women's game today. So I went and watched Borough, Leatherhead. So, yeah, it's been a busy footballing weekend with no football actually at the club. But, yeah, it's been good, mate. How about yourself?
Yes, not bad, mate. I was at a game with Mike yesterday. We were watching Billingshurst down at Worthing. And then today was a bit of an expensive one because it was Christmas shopping. So, yeah, and now it's not spend anything else. But also to my left, we have Mr. McCaffrey. How are we, sir?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Had a great day today. Took all the nephews and nieces out to the pantomime. Bit of Cinderella, bit of fairy godmother, front row. Loving it, getting all involved. He's behind you and all that lot. And obviously fresh off the back of my American tour that I've just had last week, where I went to like 3 or 4 different states in 7 days on a bit of business. So, but buzzing to be back and buzzing to speak to our guest tonight, who's a legend.
That is right. And to my bottom left, we have ex-Worthing but current Sutton United manager, Chris. How are we?
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah, very well, thank you. Still obviously frustrated from yesterday, but in the main, all good, thank you.
No, I'm going to interject there, Lee. Former Hastings United manager as well.
Sorry,
right? Don't forget.
And former Hastings United manager as well.
Can't forget their use, mate.
But no, thank you for coming on, mate. Obviously, after yesterday and all that, didn't know how you be today and that, but no, thank you. So, okay, well let's start then with yesterday's game, because you had a great FA Cup run this season at Sutton, and then really good game yesterday. I was watching it, saw that ball go in from the corner, and it was just like, they're going to do it here. They're going to make it through to the 3rd round. So in, obviously you were there, pitch side, your words, mate. How, when that goal went in, and then to the last 25 minutes, how did you feel?
We were frustrated actually, because we should have been out of sight. Like by half time, I think we could have been at least 1 up, and it was just a bit of frustration really, because obviously we scored direct from the corner. It was great to get the lead, but you sort of think, well, this could be more convincing. And then when they went down to 10 men, we went back to a little bit of the previous, so clearing it rather than passing it. So on the regain, rather than keeping the first few passes and finding a bit of shape and organisation, and if there was an overload, recognising it and then finding it, we started clearing it, and game become a bit transitional, which the majority of the game wasn't, and that suited Shrewsbury a bit more. It didn't look like 11v10, and we blew up a little bit towards the end. We're a young group, lack a bit of experience, and maybe that showed, but and then on their equaliser, lad comes inside too easily. So it's a feeling of disappointment because it's a missed opportunity, but again, pride, because we were very good.
Yeah, I mean, watching it on TV, you looked the better side last night. So obviously they went down to 10 men, and then the incident happened where they had a free kick, and one of your players sort of stood in the way or didn't get out the way quick enough and got sending off. When that happens, just in general, as a manager, what are your thoughts, and then what do you have to do to be like, right, we need to change formation or change something going forward?
Our thing is, because I think a lot of coaches and managers, they tend to, like, when they go down to 10 men, is shut up shop a little bit and try and consolidate. So, and I'd done that previously. Whereas and it's never worked. So now we've got basically a process in place where if we go down to 10 men, we're going to try and still carry a threat and counter punch. So if we're going to change shape, we'll take someone out of the back line or the midfield line to keep players in the top line. I mean, we'd done it last year away at Eastbourne Borough. Obviously went down to 10 men, and then we went to 2 or 3 different formations, but we basically kept people in the top line so we could keep counter punching, really. So knowing that they're trying to overcommit. So that was the sort of the feeling was the opposition are going to try and come after us, which is then going to give us opportunities to go back the other way. So it's more about trying to be brave and counter punch and try and win the game again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look at that. It was such a good game, and it was just unlucky at the end with conceding that second goal with the ball going across the box.
Yeah.
But when you got back into the dressing room at full time, were a lot of players heads down, or was it sort of, lads, look, the FA Cup, it was a great chance to make it third, but we didn't. It's now on to the next. Concentrate. It's a league game now.
No, it was real disappointment because we felt that the level of performance deserved. It's all right, obviously playing that well and getting lots of pats on the back, and we do take pride from it. But you got to win, haven't you? Especially when it's good. So there was a definite feeling of disappointment and frustration, but equally we said to the players that that's a benchmark for us moving forwards. I mean, if we can do that to a League 2 team, then there's no reason we can't do that to anyone at our level. So real frustration, but as a reference point to move forwards and as a sign of our progress. I mean, we've had 16 games now. We lost 2 in 16, so we're not used to losing. So there's obviously frustration with that, but equally it does show how far we've come. When I think of the first game against Braintree, that was the most forgettable game of football you'll ever watch. Whereas last night, I thought there was some really good bits.
Yeah, really good bits. No, thank you, mate. Looks like Mike's got a question, so go on, Mike. I can see you.
Aggie, how you doing, pal? Good to see you.
Good, Mike, how are you? All right?
Yeah, can't complain, pal. Can't complain. Talk to me about November. Boys on fire. Considering the mess the club, from what I know, was in last year. How have you turned it around in that short space of time? What have you done, and what changes have you made?
I think, to be honest, in terms of personnel, we've added a couple of really good players like Kai Jennings, who had a loan of. Yeah, he's
unlucky last night.
Yeah, he's outstanding. I offered him at Worthing and didn't take him, so it was a mistake, one of many. But so I wasn't going to make the same mistake again. And then Jake Taylor is another lad I tried to take to Worthing as well, but we couldn't quite get him. But two really important additions, I think, that would help the group. And then on top of that, we've reduced the squad. It was a massive group, 30 plus players. Changed the training week as well.
The training week?
Yeah, so we looked at the physical loading from our first 4 weeks versus the previous regime, and I think we had 130% increase in physical load during our time, just in terms of training load and match demand. So we've obviously put an awful lot more demand on the players physically, and I think initially that probably hurt us because we went into some games a bit fatigued, but I think it's helped us in terms of the bigger picture, because in terms of intensity, tempo that we want to play at, I think that's helped from a training perspective, then taking that into games, and I think that's been a big thing. Obviously slightly different ideas as well around, like we both, like the previous manager played a 3-box-3, 3-5-2. We play a similar shape, but the mechanics and the dynamics of how the two shapes work or how the shape works under the two different managers. Sorry, I think is obviously very different. So I think the biggest thing though is like confidence.
Okay.
We've got, once we've stripped the group back and got it down to a more manageable size, what it's given us is a core of sort of 16, 17 really good players, and they're really good players, and just sort of reminding them of how good they are. And we all know what it's like if you've got good players and you get them physically fitter and running around and playing at an intensity, and you get them half organised, you're gonna pick up points. And I think that's been the main thing, is the confidence in the players. And obviously you get a few results. The results have been positive. That helps get the buy-in from the group. There's more team of the week, so we've got a young group and individuals that want to climb the football pyramid. So they're seeing the benefits from an individual perspective of the team functioning well and performing. It means they then get an individual. They're getting individual accolades, team of the weeks and stuff like that. So it's probably a load of different things that are all factor into a really, really solid start.
Well, one more question about Sutton, and I want to ask you a question about a former club. Okay, so you know I ask those questions that people don't want to ask. Anyway, so let me. What's the target? What is a successful season this year compared to what you've had to change? How you've progressed and how you're now kicking on? What is success to you?
We were 5 points adrift, and I'll be honest, it was after the two times I come in at Hastings previously, it was in a similar sort of situation, both times near the bottom, and both those seasons we ended up nearly getting in the playoffs. So rather bullishly, I sort of said, well, we'll push for the playoffs this year. When we went in at Sutton, but it was after the Wildstone game, and I actually looked at the previous season and the points that Dagenham went down on, which was 52 points, and I thought, oh, at this point, at this point we had 8 points.
that's looking long.
Yeah, so I was looking at going, oh, we need to. But the Wildstone result was the best thing that could have happened, because we were then really aggressive and robust with the existing group in terms of moving players on, bringing players in. We were like, we've got to attack this now. We haven't got time to, we've got to play. We're playing catch up, and we haven't got time to waste. So at that point, it was, let's just get above that line as fast as possible. And now we're above it, and we've been on a good run. The attitude has always been, why can't we be that team making a late push for the playoffs? That's very much our attitude. And with the quality of players we've got, with the couple of additions that we want to make, I think we've got a really good chance of doing that. Especially when you see, like, we played Hartlepool the other week. Halifax is a good side. Eastleigh, they're a good team. Shrewsbury, and we've been really dominant in those games. You go, well, actually, with more work, the players will improve. The team will keep improving in terms of how it functions. Again, we'll add a couple of new faces, and if we're picking up these results now, what can we be doing in 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 18 weeks time, when we're getting towards the business end of the season?
Love that. I love that. Now, I want to step outside the box a bit, Chris. I've seen you down Worthing. You've been on other shows with us. Great guy. Always a supporter. Always a nice guy. I want to put something on the line. I don't feel, and I'll probably get pelters for this, and I don't give up. You know that. I don't feel the fans got over with you as much as you wanted to give them. I don't think they gave you enough of a chance behind the scenes with the fans there. I don't think, especially after Hinch leaving, then coming back, and that. What are your thoughts on that? Did you feel accepted? Because you would get, let's make no mistake about it, you had record numbers. You nearly went all the way up. Sometimes, and I'm a Worthing fan, sometimes you've got to take a step back and realise where the club was and how close you got them last year. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's always difficult when you're following in the footsteps of Hinch, because obviously he's a Worthing legend, to be fair, and he's done an incredible job there. And he obviously went to York and done brilliantly well there, and gone back to the club. And he's obviously proven once again that he's a brilliant manager, brilliant coach. So I think it's always difficult. Initially, like, you understand that you need to win people over, and you need to get people on side, because at that point I was stepping up from the role at Hastings, so I was perhaps a bit of a risk and a bit of an unknown quantity. I don't think I would have been the most attractive appointment either. I think there probably would have been sexier appointments out there than me. So I got it initially, but then after having the season that we had, and like producing some really good moments, like Torquay at home 5-1 in the trophy. Western Supermare at home 3-0. They're flying at the top of the league, and we absolutely slap them all over the place. Bournemouth taking 6 points off them. Bournemouth at home on Tuesday.
Oh, was that game?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? It was brilliant. I think we just gone top as well, haven't we?
Yeah. People were believing.
Yeah,
which is why I find it so hard.
Well, yeah,
some of them have maybe gave you the comments and that.
Yeah,
I don't feel you should have got.
Dorking away, like it's. So I struggle with, as I said, I understood initially the resistance or the lack of enthusiasm for it, and at times the lack of support, and the comments. I get.
Could you hear them? Could you hear them from the fans?
Oh, of course, yeah. But the thing is, it's like I said, it's part of the job, and you need to. For me and my own development, I need to improve on that front. But again,
on that, Ags, I'm going to jump in quickly, because obviously I've known you a long, long time. We've worked together at Hastings, and some of those comments at Worthing.
Well, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah, but that was fucking stupid. Like, let's be honest, embarrassing that what you did that season. How you got there. But even if you look into the build up to that, or if there was a frustrating result, it was the same things that we heard years before, right? So your teams are known for retaining the ball. Yeah, you retaining the ball with purpose, right? That's what you do. Yeah, you look after it, you move it about, you try and draw teams out to play through the lines, and it's great. And it's great to watch. I loved it. Like at Hastings, I was very proud of your team, because it was a great reflection on what I was doing off the pitch. Yeah, but you would hear, as you remember, in the main stand, you'll be waiting to draw a team out. So it'd be going to like Stoney, back to Jake Elliott, into like Gary. You'll be keeping the ball, and you always hear, "Get forward!" People would say that we were boring, right? But it wasn't boring. Ebbsfleet in the FA Cup, when we lost on penalties there, that was definitely not boring. We controlled them, right? And I think watching your Worthing team a couple of times, I was very fortunate to come and watch a lot in last season, both at Worthing. I went to the Borough away game as well. I think it was so far from that, but you still got those same comments, and I feel they're just so uneducated. And it's not a knock on fans, because I think end of the day, fans are allowed their opinion. They pay their money to go and watch a team. But I just find it frustrating. And we said off air, last night, whoever watched, so I watched 2 games yesterday live, and then I watched your game on TV. And I'm telling you this, from someone obviously who has an affinity to you, obviously, for what we did at Hastings, watching that and seeing what you did just said to me that show what you are about as a manager, as a coach, what your staff are about as well, and what they add to you. And I know how much you put it on your staff as well, to be a collective and all signed zoned in on the same thing. I think it was the best advert for you guys, and not saying something want to lose you, but for me, if I'm in the Football League and I'm thinking about what I would want my team to do, you showed what you did to an established football at Shrewsbury Town, and they're no mugs. They're an established football league club, right? It shows to me that the proof is in the pudding with you. I think when you left Worthing to Sutton, there was probably the same thing that when you left Hastings to go to Worthing, right? Well, really, like, What did he do at Worthing? Well, you know what you've done at Worthing. Highest points fit. You missed out in the playoffs. Playoffs are a lottery. We all know that.
Numbers don't lie.
But they don't. And at Hastings, we could have got promoted 3 years in a row. Like, let's be honest. When COVID came along, we were sitting top of the table, clearing points. I'll never forget that last couple of games when we played Sevenoaks away. We were losing. We scored a penalty in the last minute. Popey, I think it was, from memory. And then we retained our unbeaten run or whatever at that point. And we were flying. COVID comes along, kills that. And I just think some people got to look at it a little bit more like openly and look at your numbers, because they don't lie.
My thing is, like I said, that ultimately you're judged on your points and you're judged on your wins, and like that's it. And my record will stand up against most people's. I know that, but the thing is I'm not a robot, and yes, I do need to develop my ability to block out some stuff, but then equally, because I'm not a robot, I did get frustrated with the comments and the reaction and the feeling towards me. I know the staff felt it as well, and I know the players felt it, and that was a big thing for me in terms of I wanted to protect the players. I can remember having long conversations with Mo Farrell after his first couple of games because he was just getting dogs abuse from the stands.
Massive.
And I'm trying to convince this guy that this could be his home and that he's going to be all in with us and he's going to lead the line and have a huge impact. And he's sitting there and but I can hear people giving me dogs abuse. Now I get it. Like that's the, as you say, people pay their money and they're entitled to their opinion. But again, like the whole point is you're there to help the team and support the team, and without sort of banging on about it, you look at the numbers and you look at the record and you look at what we've done. And at the moment, nobody has surpassed that. Now, I hope, genuinely, because I know Hinch personally. I've got a hell of a lot from him. I've learned an awful lot from him, and that's a group of players that I helped put together and have spent a lot of time with. So I hope Worthing continue on an upward trajectory, because I think it would have looked worse because in terms of the start this season, it was very similar to last season, and it was around this sort of time that we started to motor last year. It's been, as you know, Bill, it's been the same with all of the teams I've built, all of them. They start slow, and then it gets to October, November, December, and then they start to motor because we always have a really heavy pre-season. We almost overcook it. We get loads of information into the players in that period of time. It takes a while for that to embed in the group, but then when it clicks, and it's always around this time. We would always go top around December time at Hastings. We went top December time at Worthing. I don't think we'll go top with Sutton in December, but generally, it sort of, in terms of like the timeline, it's pretty consistent. So I think the fact it would have looked worse if we'd obviously left and then Worthing would have faltered, because I think that would have been a reflection of the work that we'd done. But what's now happened is Hinch has gone in there, and as I said, I've learnt loads from Hinch, and we've got a lot of similar ideas. I still speak to all the players. I think they've made a couple of really good additions. I think they probably needed a fresh voice in there, because what I'm like. I'm intense. I'm all in. I'm at it, and I know that can be draining for people. And also, what's probably helped most is the fact that the players are now feeling the full support of the whole ground, because they've got a front man that they're completely behind, as opposed to sections.
Guys, just so you know, I've got to restart my computer. It's just about to shut down. I'll be back on in a couple of minutes. Okay, you carry on.
I think you're spot on there, Chris.
Yeah,
in what you say.
Because when the Worthing fans, like that Boreham Wood game, when the Worthing fans were behind us, they were made like brilliant.
It was like they won a trophy. Everyone was buzzing. and everyone was down the boozer speaking about it next couple of days. Do you know what I mean? There's a feel good around the town and that. But why didn't they give that to you all the time? Could that difference have got you over the line, do you think? Those extra couple of points?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure. I've obviously thought about it at length. But I'll be honest, I sort of, I know it sounds a bit maybe too honest, but I shut off to it after the playoff eliminator against Maidstone.
Did you?
That little bit like, because the response that we got after, obviously nobody wants to lose in a playoff eliminator, and it was incredibly disappointing. But the response that we got after that was, it was different. It was really difficult, and like I said, because I'm not a robot, I'm not a very good poker player.
We'll have a game then. We'll bring cash around my house. We'll have a little chit.
Honestly, Mike, it's obvious I'm not happy. And it just meant that after that, I sort of thought, this is a job. As ruthless as that sounds, I need to win games of football. I need to try and help Worthing move forwards. I need to try and help build a team that's going to go and win the league, because that's the only way really you progress on what we've done last year. But it was very much like that sort of business-like approach rather than personal type of connection there. And the problem is with that is you then don't get all of me, and it's probably a diluted version of me. And you also then start to get the interviews that you got towards the end where I was.
You could see you were hurting.
Yeah.
The thing is, as well, I was told by the club, by people at the football club, to not be too emotional and not be too up and down. And that's the thing. Like, one of the things that I think has always helped me is what you see is what you get. So in front of the camera,
like me.
I just like if we're shit, I'll say it. If we're good, like if I make mistakes, I'll wear it. But one of the things that I was advised was, could you be a bit more like the Truro City manager, who gives nothing away and is a bit more of a.
Well, then get the Truro City manager in, give him the contract.
But that's what I mean. And so some of the stuff that's been thrown at us in on reflection after I've left has been, he's got no passion. But I've been given a direction from people above me just to be a bit more straight laced and try to play.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it at home then, Chris? You get into that stage, you've got a lovely family in there. How hard is it for your family to deal with Chris after that kind of situation? You were that close, and you're a man that obviously gives an absolute shit about everything. Do you know what I mean? Feels it. How do you go home to your family and they have to try and now deal with, the unhappy Chris, the Chris that feels, how's that at your level where you are in management?
Well, Bill will tell you, I never used to go home.
Really?
I didn't. I'd just drive around for hours until I figured out why we lost.
Right.
Or got to the bottom of it, or felt like there was a route forwards. I would just drive around. That's it. And
then you got to go in with a smiley face the next day, like media trained, like that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, lads.
Do you know what? But I've always, like I said, I've always sort of tried to be honest and say it as it is, and because it's, well, you know what it's like in football. It's a pretty rare commodity, really. Like, everyone's sort of, like it's an industry. It's an industry that attracts a certain type of person for sure. And I think if you can just be open and honest and straight with people, it does go a long, long way. In terms of at home, like I'm very lucky. My wife's amazing. Like she's been with us long enough to know what it's like. I've got better with it. Like, I used to be really bad. Whereas at Worthing, the biggest stuff was, because like I said, I wasn't really on social media. Not really.
No.
I'm on X, but I don't really actually look at stuff.
Yeah.
But you must see things.
Oh, well, no. What was worse, I'd go up to my mum's and she'd go, oh, Chris, I can't believe what they're saying about you. I'm like,
Oh no!
I don't need to know that, Mum.
The old dear's giving you the
I'm
info.
like,
Yeah, Mum, I don't need to know.
yeah, like, oh, I don't agree with them. Like that your tactics are all over the place. I'm like, shit. Well, the worst bit was when she was agreeing with them. She was going, "I'll make her play."
So,
Yeah, I try and shut it out, but and again, like my close family are brilliant with it. Yeah, my wider family, I just sort of I turn the blinkers off to them as well when they give me feedback about social media.
Well, I think you did an absolutely incredible job at Worthing, and I think you're doing just as good job with the situation you've got at Sutton United now. You know, for those fans there at the moment, they should know that there's an exciting time coming with you. You know,
Not my the club and the way that we've been received and the feeling and the warmth has been unbelievable. It's been so nice from our perspective, because it wasn't obviously just
you
me,
happen.
myself, Dean Hammond. Like that, they've all felt the completely different perception towards us from Sutton versus the previous, and it's just helped sort of integrate us into the club. And we want to, we'll always try our best, because that's, we're professional people and you want to succeed. But when you feel connected to the club and you feel like you're one of them, you are definitely more likely to run through that proverbial wall as opposed to the alternative. So like the fans have been amazing. It's a proper football club. It reminds me of Hastings, like salt of the earth type people. Because I think football can be so corporate and
I agree.
it can be, yeah, really can be.
Just because it's shiny doesn't mean it's any good. Like and whereas at Sutton, it's a proper football club with a real rich history. The fan base are amazing, and they've really welcomed us. And obviously, what's helped is the fact that we've won a load of games and got off to a good start.
It's a proper ground as well, isn't it? Because I went there last season for a game, and it's you get in there and you've got this, as you go in, you've got the standing round, then you've got the big stand, and then you've got it's a proper old school football ground where you can really hear and feel the fans as well when it's packed out.
It's brilliant. Like the atmosphere last night was class, and that's what you do it for. Like the emotion and it makes you feel alive. It was brilliant. Yeah. But like the people upstairs, like within 2 days, my wife had more interaction with Sutton's board than what she'd had in 18 months previously.
Wow.
I like that, because
that's good.
I'm married. I've been my other half 24 years. She's seen me play. She's seen me coach. She's seen me coach my boy. She's seen the dark times as well. She's seen the times where you make a mistake, you come home in bed and you're sitting there at 2 a.m. going, how did I get that wrong? And they've got to play a massive part in your success, because they're the ones you bounce off. They're the ones that's going to put your arm around it. I think whatever other people say, I think you did an incredible job at Worthing, and as I said, I think Sutton have got a really, really exciting gaffer. That's got a real thing. My last question, Chris, who wins and who goes up from your league?
Who wins the league? I've got a bit of a. I'm good friends with Gary Elphick, so I've got to say York City.
But they're 6 on the bounce, York goal at the moment.
Yeah. Well, do you know what I like? I like Rochdale, but they've got problems with their home pitch.
Okay.
So they get games postponed every other week at this time of year, so they end up having a fixture.
When it rains, yeah.
At that level, there's drainage out.
Yeah, it's not great there. I didn't realise. I've become aware of it in the sort of past 4 or 5 weeks. But York, Rochdale, as I said, I like Rochdale. But again, I think there'll be a fixture backlog which will affect them. York, I think, will go up automatically and win it. And I absolutely hate to say it, but I actually think Boreham Wood will win the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
it's definitely tight, but there's 2 points in the first 5.
I hate to say it at Boreham Wood because obviously what we've done to them last year.
No, it's ridiculous.
But just before we let you go, mate, just wanted to ask was, when you were at Worthing and the Sutton job came up, was it a mutual interest, or was it they contacted the club to speak to you? Or
yeah, how's it happen, Chris? How's it happen behind the scenes?
Well, it's been a period of time. So,
do you get a cheeky text? What happens?
No, actually, through they done their recruitment based on data. Based on they want to go in an attacking direction. They want to play a attacking, possession based type of football. So then, off the back of that, they will then have a set of metrics which show managers that lean towards that type of football. So. I was obviously on their shortlist. Hinch was also on their shortlist. There was a couple of others as well. I can say Hinch quite openly because I think it's well documented that he was very close to getting the Sutton job. They made contact with me via LinkedIn.
Oh, they live in corporate.
Oh, okay.
Got the old prawn sandwich out. LinkedIn.
So they, I think, then asked the question in terms of the potential compensation package.
Okay.
And then there was a period of time where I thought it wasn't going to happen.
Really?
Yeah. Because like Worthing, I've not long signed the new contract at Worthing.
So they had to pay a bit of buns to get you. We're not going to ask you what it is and that. But...
Yes, I think I'm a good manager, but I'm not that good. So, rightly so, I think Sutton probably looked at him and thought he's all right, but I don't think he's worth that. And they would have been right. But for I then got a call after I think they'd just been beaten by Yeovil, and they said, right, let's try and get this sorted and done. And then there was a bit of conversation, obviously, between myself and Worthing. It was going on for a couple of weeks. Worthing were brilliant in terms of keen for me to obviously stay put. It was around the time that we beat Wimborne, so we'd obviously.
So it was your choice.
Yeah, progressing the FA Cup. Sorry, say that again.
So it was your choice.
What to go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, no, there was. It was. There was one point.
You had enough.
No, it wasn't that. It was just. I'll be honest. That there wasn't one reason. I know this is me being really ruthless. There wasn't one reason for me to stay at Worthing, like other than comfort and a feeling of unfinished business. For me, it was you got to strike while the iron's hot. Like we'd had a similar start, as I said, this season to last season. We'd just been nominated for Manager of the Month for the previous month, so we were building momentum again. We just got through in the FA Cup, so there was a feeling of we're starting to motor again. We'd obviously just beat Dagenham as well, which was. We're starting to play well, but again, so that there was you could stay put, and as I said, unfinished business, continue to build on what we'd started there. But just the lure of Sutton, the conversations I'd had with the board, the direction they wanted to go in, the history of the club, the infrastructure. They're not talking about operating at a level; they're actually doing it. And the opportunity to manage at National League level. But you know what it's like a week's a long time. Yeah, no, but genuinely a week's a long time in football. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
the following week we'd gone to Maidenhead and we'd put in a shocking display or whatever, and you know, for whatever reason, Sutton then, because of the delay in the situation, or further delay in the situation, they then go in a different direction. We then go on a bit of a bad run, which I don't think we would do, because Touchwood, I've never really had a bad run as a manager. I know it's tempting fate, but we've never gone many games. But you just know what I mean. I just looked at it and thought, because last season there was 4 opportunities to go to the National League.
Right.
So we had 3 clubs were all up north. So it would have meant, obviously,
moving you and your kids out.
But first and foremost, it would have meant that we were jumping and we hadn't had that season in the bank. So you unproven and you haven't done anything. So that was the first thing. And then on top of that, the fact they're all up north, like moving the family and all the rest of it. Whereas, and the other one was a London-based club, but they were virtually relegated. And I just looked at it and thought, we've got far more chance of progressing at Worthing and being in the National League with Worthing, even though this club were currently in the National League, they were adrift. So, and again, we were building something exciting at Worthing. Whereas this season, with that year in the bank and, you know, whatever people view it as, I thought was a pretty decent season. And then again, when the club, the same distance away from Worthing to where I live, comes calling, and they're a proper football club, they're an established football club. You talk to the owners, they're top draw. They're very clear on what they want to do, where they want to go. You just look at it and go, oh, this is, we've got to take this opportunity.
Alex, can I ask you a quick question with regards to that? So, obviously, the first time you left Hastings was, as we know, because you wanted to go back into the professional game and coach a professional game, right?
I had well, Bill, as you know.
Yeah.
I was mentally drained.
100%. Mate, it's hard. It was hard for us, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
We lost 4 league games in 3.5 years and didn't get promoted. Yeah, I just needed a breather. Do you know what I handed my resignation in at Hastings, and I didn't have another job to go to.
No.
Much my wife, she was fuming. Bill, no, absolutely. End of November, just before Christmas. And the thing is, I'm not, my family's not well off. We're not from rich stock. We're, humble beginnings would be a statement. So I made that decision because I was mentally fried, to be fair, from just COVID and the lack of progression and winning. I think we've beaten every team at every ground at that level, and we just had nothing.
And with that, Ags, it was like, from me on the sidelines, it's frustrating because we wanted to build this National League club, and we had what people might not know as well. Chris also did the college program under 19, so we were really building a philosophy and bringing some unbelievable young players through, like the likes of Ben Ward and Jack Bates, and obviously that before me, like the Jamie Fieldings and David Radari, Adam Lovett. It was just a conveyor belt of talent, and it was all because the setup was right. But the problem was we couldn't get out in the league. It was like we were stuck there because of COVID. And there was times when, we can say it now because we won't get nicked for it, but me, Aggie, all his staff will be up you meant to be isolating, or wherever. We were up at the football club. Didn't want to be at home, I guess.
They'd be banging at your door.
We'd still want to be at home, but it was probably just it was horrible. It was a horrible time, and you did what I think was the right thing anyway. And I think, like you say, I think you needed that freshen up, and probably the club needed it as well. And luckily we had all the bits in place, and Gary was there kind of on our doorstep to see it through. But I was going to ask you a question quickly. If we ignore that part, because ultimately you had to do that. When you left Hastings to go to Worthing, and then when you left to Worthing to go to Sutton, what was the hardest one for you?
You know the answer to that.
You asked that on purpose, please.
Thing.
I turned the day before, so Worthing fans would be gutted that I didn't go full U-turn properly. So on the day, so I met the Hastings owners the day before the announcement to go to Worthing, and after that meeting, I actually rung my wife up and went, "I don't think I'm going to take it," because I went back to Hastings with the intention of being there for 4 or 5 years and really building something. And I bought into the new owners. I bought into the ground developments or the proposed ground developments. It was, that again, that's my club. Like, it's probably similar to Hinch at Worthing, to be honest. It's a similar type of situation to that. That's why I think I can understand it, and that's why probably every other Hastings manager absolutely hates me as well. But it's I just looked at it and thought it was proper football club, and just loved it. And then obviously met Worthing, really positive. Loved George,
Great guy,
brilliant character, inspirational. I knew Nathan, met Barry. Again, really positive conversations.
Love Barry.
Yeah, that they offered me a great opportunity. But it was, as I said, it was the day before I spoke to the Hastings guys and thought, actually, I'm going to stay put. And it was actually my wife. She said to me, "Chris, what was the point in you coming out of a football if you're not going to take opportunities?" She said, "Unless you're going to go to Eastbourne Borough, we're the only club really that, in terms of the National League South, which means, like, for us, family-wise, logistically, that's the only one that can offer you that type of progression."
Yeah.
And then I got back on the phone to Nathan and went, let's crack on. But in terms of, again, I'll be honest, that the difficult thing leaving Worthing was talking to the players, because a great group of lads, very good group of players. We had a really good changing room, really good connection with the group. Obviously the staff were amazing, but I'll be honest, I couldn't wait to get training on Friday morning at Sutton United before the Braintree game, as opposed to leaving Hastings. There was, even when I was holding the Worthing shirt up, there was part of me that was really apprehensive, feeling like I was leaving behind something really special. So, but I think that would be the case if I went anywhere, because of Hastings was is
great
sort of the club that gave me the opportunity to manage. I mean, I was 27 when I first started managing, and like any other club wouldn't have given me a sniff, but they give me the opportunity to take it interim, and then lost the first 2 games. I had an absolute torrid for the first month, but they stayed with us, and then we ended up doing quite well there. So irrelevant of the club I was going to, it always would have been difficult leaving Hastings.
And I always say it, and I've said it on here a few times, and I think I said it actually when I done the other podcast with you and Trev and Gaz.
Yeah.
What Aggie was doing for me coming into Hastings, and from what I helped build, it was like the perfect storm, because on the pitch was fine, right? It was totally fine. Off the pitch wasn't, and it wasn't being. I don't think it was being promoted anywhere near in a way it should have been. Because that, like, we talk about Hastings as a big club all the time here, and it was, but it was only getting 200, 300 people watching. We ended up getting into the thousands. But if you look at what Aggie's done, across his career, especially Hastings, I just think there's always going to be that connection, Ags, because the way the fans are there, you know what they're like. They're a special bunch, like, from the whole spectrum of them. But it's a very much even though it's a large group, you get to know all the individuals quite well, and they do when they find someone that's one of their own, or they feel they're one of their own, whether that's a manager, whether that's a board member or player. We know how much the players mean to them at that club. It's hard to leave. Like, it's like you're breaking up with someone. You kind of like you feel like you got to, but you always, you're always looking, aren't you? You always kind of, like I did when I left Hastings first time round. I was always still going, what have I done? What have I done? Like, even when I decided to step down, I was like, what have I done? And you always check on the results and you always want them to do well. And when they're not doing well, you're fucking angry that they're not doing well. It's a club that really grabs you. And like, if you've not been part of Hastings United, like I don't think you would understand it apart from seeing the crowds and the noise. But when you're part of it, it's weird. It kind of just, it drags you in and your family in and your friends in, and it becomes just completely solely part of your life.
Well, just on that, like we had a group of sort of 30, 40 people from Hastings United that come up and watch the game on Saturday night.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant football club. It's a brilliant town. It's like spit and sawdust, salt of the earth type people. It is very simple. But yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, if I can ever come back to manage Hastings again, if they ever need us, then I'll be all over that.
Never say never.
Well,
I've just had a message, Chris, from a few Worthing fans, and it's like this. Tell Chris thanks so much from WFC lifetime season ticket holders. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. So there you go. And they've just messaged me across from that.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. It's
that was Russ. That was old Russ Cochrane.
Oh, nice, thank you. No, I appreciate it. It's I do. It means a lot. Like it's you know, I know how important football clubs are to the community and to people. So if you know, like if you can help have a positive impact, that's one of the reasons you do it, isn't it?
Exactly. But right, we did say half hour, but we've had you a little bit longer.
Sorry, Chris.
Don't worry about it. My wife's delighted because she can like not have me in her ear on a Sunday night.
But I just want to say thank you for jumping on tonight, mate, and being part of the fifth episode of the new pod. It's great to hear from you and how it's going since Worthing and everything. And from here, just want to say really good luck this season. Rest of the season with Sutton, and I will try and get to a game before the end of the season.
Yeah, we've got to get up there and see those.
Yeah, Joel, the same. I will. You know, love to your family, mate, as well. Like, hope Ray's doing well, and I hope all the boys, Will's doing well, and obviously, I hope your mum and dad are good.
No, legends. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity to come on as well. And there's season tickets for you if you want it.
I'm busy now, Sally Ags, so I can't. But
Can't say no to that.
Wait, no, Bill, you can put that in as doing a bit of opposition scouting.
There you go. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
Have you seen his record at Lancing? You don't want him scouting for you, mate.
To be fair, on that note, me and Chris talked quite a bit about when I was there. So
I told Bill to Bill, careful with that one.
Is that
yeah,
what did you?
We did, yeah.
That's a different time, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said at least you had the bollocks to take it. And what do you say to me? Some people take a lifetime to get an Isthmian League job. So like, you know, I had to have a go, didn't I?
So he's now doing podcasting, see? He's out of the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it took me like 16 years of coaching to get an Isthmian League job. Bill just walked into my like, fuming. I think, fucking hell.
You know what I'm like anyway.
Yeah, but I know what you like, Bill. Keep them up.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Have a great Christmas, Ags, and we'll see you soon, pal.
And guys, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, lads. What a guy. What a great guy.
I can't even get off the thing. Can we get him off? Can we help him?
Press the red button, Ags, like that. We just carry on, mate. You just deal with that in the background there.
You work out what you're doing.
Just as well it's not live. See you later, chaps.
Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Oh, so he's doing bits down there, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, he is. Like honestly, I really enjoyed working with him. Like, I worked really, really close over the years, and he's one that's so passionate that it can come across sometimes the wrong way as well. Like he's proper on it, and I learned. I've always said this. Like, I don't care if you're the boss or you're the person, you know, washing dishes. If you can't learn from good people, what's the fucking point? Like, genuinely, what's the point? And I learned a lot from Ags. A lot, not just
He's a nice guy, though, isn't he? As
Yeah,
well.
he is.
You know
But
what I
he's
mean?
ruthless. He's ruthless,
yeah.
Mike. He's a ruthless manager. Don't like trust me. Like I've seen him have it. Like he has it, and you've got to have that about you. You can't always be the nice guy. Like nice guys do finish last. I believe that, but like you can still do it in the right way. And I think with him, he's
sorry, Bill. Really quick, just jump in. I've had a load of messages of people saying that it's buffering when they're trying to get into watch. Jolsey said it, Haig said it, and a few others. Bill, is your network connected
to what?
To stream to your audience?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's buffering. It could be the weather. The weather's
let me remove mine and we'll see.
Yeah, the weather's shit tonight as well, so that don't help. But yeah, I've had Jolsey said it, that Lisa said it, and a few others. But I don't know. Might could be the weather.
I think, look, going back to Ags quickly, I just think he's this gets uploaded anyway, Mike. Then you upload it on.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for me is with regards to people like him, is he's also very loyal to staff as well. I've seen like he's very loyal to staff. He likes his circles the way he likes his circle. You know, it's just the way he is, and I believe that he will manage in a football. I think I've said this before, but I think he will manage in a football league, and I hope he does. I really do, and I think like we learned a lot, and there was a lot of patience tested in Hastings COVID times, but it's put him in good stead, and he's gone on to be a National League manager that people look at and go, right, okay, he's got a big future in the game, because he's only still young. It's not like
I think he's early 40s, isn't he?
Yeah, like we're roughly the same age, right? And which probably actually helps our relationship because we're from the same era and what have you. Rather than him dealing with a dinosaur in the boardroom, he was dealing with someone who understood modern football and the modern way. Albeit I'm a bit more out there social. He's now actually, to be fair to him, he's kind of up to his social game, but he wasn't always the biggest fan of social media, old Ags. But I
don't blame him, because if you're under the spotlight like that,
horrible.
And
it's a horrible place to be.
We're not dealing with the couple of hundred fans in the SCFL. You're dealing with 2,000-3,000 fans plus, and it's got to take a lot of mental tolerance in there to be able to block it out when you're in the background. Oh, for fuck's sake, that shit, he should be pushing on, he should be attacking, he sticks to his plan. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, even at Hastings, they used to go, get it forward, get it. Oh, it was so annoying. They still do it now, I think, to be fair. Even though on our pitch now, we have to shunt it because the pitch ain't in the greatest condition. So, but back then, like, we were playing on the fucking billard table. It was unbelievable. So, like, looking after the ball was always lovely to watch, and we continued that under Gary and John Meaney. A little bit different, but we continued that style. And I think Aggie, John Meaney, Andrew Brown, who's I think still coaching at Brighton. Those guys, like, unbelievable to be. Like, Gary was the man mountain leader. So like we were fortunate, but I think a lot of it, a lot of the team was what Aggie brought in. There was a couple of adjustments, but it was Aggie's team that Gary took on and pushed forward. And then you look at it and you go, all the foundations we had with the under-19s program were based on what we really like got. Whilst obviously the initial setting up and purpose behind it has to go to credit has to go to Ben White and Dean White. Chris Agata coming in and doing the 19s program and then the first team at the same time, being full time at the football club, was 100% the reason why we as a football club produced young players and gave them the opportunity, because he could have touch point with them five, 6 times a week. It's like full time footballers at the club, So then that goes to him. He set the culture. I take a lot of credit for a lot of things, but it was all about the football, and football was first. You know what I mean? So overly happy, and it's great to catch up with him. And I definitely will take him up on that and go and watch a game. I might even go and watch a couple of sessions.
I swear he said at the end of that, there's all season tickets in it for us.
There we go.
So we're old into it.
I don't mind paying as long as there's a pint behind the bar. I'll take that.
Mike loves a pint.
I reckon I'll start doing pint reviews.
Lads, should we?
I've got the old Top Guns today.
Lovely. Should
Tom
we?
Cruise and
Cruise Campos.
So
Should we digest?
this week? What's been happening, boys? What's been happening this weekend?
Well, I mean, if we're going to be, because I think by the sounds of it, Bill's had quite a busy or heavy weekend that he's going to dive into.
Before he does, and he tells us about his crazy couple of games, can I give a couple of shout outs?
Yes.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I want to shout out BN Dons for getting through to the last 16 of the Sussex FA Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, last time they had to play a team, I don't know what they were called, Midday Snack or Capri Sun or wherever they were.
Is that where you lost your phone?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm still going to send the bill to them. Anyway, but they played today, and I think they won like 6-1.
6-1.
I mean, that's incredible for Tony and the lads up there, you know.
Yeah.
So good on them, and they're getting into deep waters now, aren't they? Up that way. So I think everyone in the county should get around them and get down to that game, the next game, and support them. And so, and the other thing I had before we saw Bill's thing, here, listen to this about Haywards Heath Town.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I got a little call this morning and a link sent to me. It's about a documentary, or let's say a docu-series they're doing behind the scenes called The Heathens. Yeah. And so Steve, the old chairman, he's a top guy. He sent me this link and he said, you know, what do you think? Have a look. I think it comes out Tuesday. Yeah. It is top draw.
Is it?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I saw the preview today.
They don't hold back. They don't sugarcoat nothing. Nothing's left off the table at all.
Okay.
You know, they you know, I'm not going to give it away, but they talk about
a lot.
The shit they had last year that they had to deal with. They can open with it. 100% open with it. You know, you see them behind the scenes. You see Kev working like, you know, the non-league Pep Guardiola that he is, in the changing room and everything like that. You see Gabbers, all the lads on there. I tell you what, it's a brilliant insight into the club and what they were doing. And the pilot that they dropped, it's this current. So they just beaten, they just gone 16 wins and 0. And they just lost in the, what was it? One of the cups that they lost in, didn't they?
They played, goes from Little Common.
Yeah. It was a Little Common game where they won 3-0, but it carries on from when they just lost to Eastbourne Borough. Okay. And so Chairman Steve's in there, Munsey's in there as well. They talk about a lot of stuff. And brilliant. I think it's going to be really well received.
Yeah.
It is and it's done professionally well. I think the lads that done it are called Cloud Surfers. Cloud Surfer, sorry. Production thing. And it is spot on. It's mint. So anyone that's out there that fancies having a look, whether you like Haywards Heath, you don't like them, you know, you'll watch it. You will watch it. So I think that comes out Tuesday. I'm not going to say too much on it, but all I'm saying is I've watched it and I've watched it twice today because I thought, that's probably...
I'm liking all these little documentaries. It's great. It's a nice little backstory, and it gives people a voice. It gives a little bit of insight, like the Lingfield one and a few others that are out there. It's nice. And
why not? Why can't they do that?
Yeah, but you know what it's like, Mike. Everyone's like, I think
thinking they're big time.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I think a lot of people look at it as well as, they're doing what a bunch of amateurs do.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's that sort of thing. But
in 2019, I did one with Eastbourne United, right? That was one of the first.
You're joking.
Yeah.
Did you?
Where's that in the vault?
5 episodes. There's 5 episodes. I'll try and find the links.
On the old tube?
Bill, if you find
brilliant.
that, mate,
it's great, mate. It's brilliant.
And I will sit there and see the wisdom.
I was inspired by the Salford City one.
Okay.
That was good, that one.
I think it's great because fans want to see, especially a following that Haywards Heath get. It's not beat about a bush. There should be a step higher, at least. You know, they've got the fan base there. We've talked about it on the show before. You know, people go, oh, you know, they got this budget and that budget. They've got the biggest foot flow through the fucking doors, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is.
They've got probably the best business plan around generating revenue. You know, they've got real people behind that. So I think, like, love them or hate them, watch it and see what you think and give your honest opinion. You know, so yeah, I want to give them a shout out because and thanks to Steve to send it through. He did give me the permission to mention it tonight, so hopefully I haven't stepped the line too much. Otherwise, I won't be allowed to go on one of their
game events.
You know, but what else has been happening? Ken?
Well, I saw that the sweets were handed out at Shoreham before the game.
What's that? Go on.
The old sweet gate.
No, look, do you know what? Everyone does that, and everyone does it. Like most clubs do. Like it's fun. It's a little bit of fun. If you pick your times, your relegation battle. Like
it could be, you know, build morale, that sort of thing.
Morale in the dressing room is another thing, right? What they need to do right now is they need to act like the world's against them, stick together, and fight like they're in the trenches. But you're in a relegation battle. You know, is what it is.
Yeah. So go on and Bill, tell us. You've tucked into a couple of games this weekend.
I always tuck into a couple of games if there's no game on.
You're a sicko, mate. You are. You're a pest at these games, mate. They see
I know.
Through the turnstile.
It's nice though because people talk to me and it's all right.
Where were you?
Beginning of the season, he was walking in with his CV in his hand, going, "Anything going? Projects wanted? I'm here. I'm your man."
Do you need a turnstile operator? Do you need a No, I was going in, going. Any chance you've got any room in your burger hut? I can sell some burgers.
You know what I can do.
So where were you, Bill? Where were you?
I was. Hold on 2 seconds. Sure one. I was.
Chelsea.
What sort of sweets would I prefer? Maltesers, son. Get me a Malteser. I went firstly to Eastbourne Town, Jersey.
Good game.
What was town like?
It was a crap game, if I'm honest. I'm a big fan of Jude. Big fan of his. But it was just a bit of a nothing game. Neither team really tested the keeper, and it was one of those ones where it's going to be secured by one goal. Jersey Ball's got I think it was a decent goal, to be fair. I don't think Jersey Balls are as good as.
I saw them against Worthing in the cup when they come over here, and I think Worthing done them 5-0 or something.
I don't think they're as good. I don't think they're as good as people kind of make out they are. Personally, I've watched them a couple of times now. But Hastings, we beat them 1-0. We could have beaten 3 or 4-0, if I'm honest, on the day. And I don't know. I thought Eastbourne Town were unlucky to not at least get a point. Probably if they had that one gilt-edged chance, which I think they had one in the first half, they would they scored first, they would have won that game. I like Eastbourne Town's team though. They've got some very good players in it. Some lads that came through at Hastings. The lad that I gave his senior debut to last year at Uckfield, Jimmy Holman's doing fantastic at centre half for them. Like that makes me happy.
Player, mate.
Like watching him grow as a player. Like I really get on with.
Are you still getting 10% each week?
I wish, yeah. I've got to put a clause in, shouldn't I? But just seeing him doing well, like it was great. Like when we, for example, when Hastings played, Harry Howells played in goal for Hastings, who was my keeper, who I took to Uckfield. You know, he's a young lad that I've known for a long time and gave me a senior debut at Uckfield, and Jimmy as well. I knew for Eastbourne Borough, brought him in at centre half and trusted 2 16-year-old kids. And to then see them both playing against each other at step 4 was a brilliant moment. Like I'll take no credit, absolutely no. It's all them, but it's nice to see that. Like that's why I love football. Seeing people given opportunities and flourishing. You know, it's brilliant. Even with Aggie, like I didn't bring him in, but I worked with him closely, and to see him now managing the National League, great. You know, it's nice to know. But yeah, that was that game. Then I went to Bexhill, Forest Row.
What are Bexhill like? Because hang on a minute. Because they started well. They surprised me. Mm. What's your honest assessment before we talk about Fro?
Look, Bexhill.
Bearing in mind you live near there, don't you?
I do, and I really like the club. They let me in for free as well. I think Jay's doing a fantastic job there. If
Mhm.
I do, I think he's doing a fantastic job. Probably wasn't someone who people thought was going to get the job when Ryan Light stepped down. A bit of an unknown,
Mhm.
but he's doing really, really well. I've got friends obviously play for the team. I've got players on loan there now as well from Hastings, and I think they're a club that will probably sit, I reckon, 7th or 8th in the league comfortably, and I think that's a massive achievement. I think it's a great achievement.
But you told us the other day they can't go up, didn't you?
I don't think they can, no, based on their ground. Someone else, Graham, the ex-chairman, or whoever can come on and prove me wrong, but I don't think they can. But they've got experienced players in all positions. They've got a player like Jack Shonk who can score a goal out of anywhere. I thought, 40 years of age, Nathan Crabb still runs like he's 21.
Is he still playing there?
Yeah, Crabby's playing. He scored yesterday.
Oh,
he edged it 3-2.
What's he had, about 10,000 games, isn't he?
Oh, mate.
You know
The Crabs. If you had Sam Crabb, Nathan Crabb, and Matty Crabb, the three of them, if you just put them all three together and worked out how many games they've played, because I think Matty Crabb, I don't know if he still is, but it's the most appearances ever for Eastbourne Borough. Sam Crabb's been around the block. I know he's retired now, but he's played for Lewis, but everywhere. I've already played for me at Eastbourne United. The same as Nathan Crabb, and Nathan Crabb's been around and done what he's done as well, right? And yeah, he's still doing it and smashing it. And it was good to see him out playing yesterday. And then they've got good young players, young Theo Coombs, I think his name is. He's going to be a special one to watch in the future. And then they've got the most underrated holding centre midfielder in Kyle Holden, right? I've genuinely believe him.
Yeah.
I really rate Kyle, really do. He's 4 foot nothing, but he will smash anyone up in the air. He wins most tackles. He covers every blade of grass, and it's just he's so underrated, And they've got a really, really good team, and I hope they do well. And I like the people there; they're good human beings, and we could do with a few more good human beings in the league for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we went up, didn't we, Lee? Yesterday.
Yeah,
we went and watched Billingshurst versus East Preston. I was going to have a week off because obviously I've been away for a week.
In the words of Mike, Billingshurst were a steam train.
8-2, was it?
8-2, yeah, well, I thought it was 7-2, but the problem was I missed about 4 goals at the bar because well, look. To be fair,
7 points, 8 points, 9 points.
These kind of podcasts going to make it on some kind of alcohol that needs to go.
Oh, mate, fucking hell, we've all got a reputation, haven't we?
What are you drinking tonight, Mike?
I'm on the Top Gun tonight. The old
there we go. Right,
Tom Cruise Campos.
Well, we were at Billingshurst and they dismantled EP East Preston, but also another lot that were there were Loxwood. Yeah,
we actually saw Mr. Lacey and that,
Go on, what was said? Come on.
No, to be honest, it was all love.
Yeah, it was
nice. He got me a nice beer. If he's watching, he probably is. Cheers for the beer, pal. Oh, you won. We had a chat, about the season they've had and the injuries and that. You didn't get mentioned, Bill. Don't worry, mate.
Did I not?
No, you sound disappointed by that, mate. You sound disappointed.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's
how I'm retiring. If I can't make
what we need to do then, we all need to turn up at Loxwood for a game, all 3 of us.
He won't be allowed in.
Can't bother to do that.
Look, I had a great.
No, actually, I'm gonna be honest. I actually quite like Mark. I ain't got a problem with Loxwood. I just think I thought I meant what I meant.
It's an opinion.
It's the first time I'd had a beer with him yesterday, and his lads, and his coaches and everyone like that. So they were sound. But let's talk about Billingshurst. Billingshurst, right? Going forward, this lot are a problem, mate. They create chances and they work on that front three.
That number 9.
Yeah, Ronnie, he was superb. Yes,
Ronnie Reeves.
Yeah, mate.
What a player, mate.
Yeah, mate. He could definitely play higher, that lad.
I don't know why he ain't.
Banged in a hat trick yesterday.
Do you know his background or anything like that?
No, like he played against me last year. And he was a problem. He was a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Going forward, mate, he bossed their two centre halves, and I know. And look, credit to Kev at his Preston. You know, he was missing a few yesterday, including.
Well, I've seen online that they're looking for a new chairman. So is there a little bit of upheaval there?
They're looking for. I've seen they're looking for a new chairman and a vice chairman.
No, not from him,
mate.
No,
that's a council-owned pitch. You're not even the biggest project that you ever dreamt of in your 15-room mansion. They're driving your Ferrari. Yeah. Even the biggest project is not going to be enough for William Wood at EP.
No. I just saw it online.
Yeah, I've seen
any job that comes up, you're like,
no, it's my algorithm, isn't it? It's like it just shows up. I have to keep telling the people at Hastings, oh, this is
lies. This
is going to happen.
Yeah. No, you are right though. They are looking. But going back to the game, Kev was short of a couple of players. Okay. Take nothing away from Billingshurst.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They dominated the midfield, and going forward, you thought they'd score every time. You know, but yeah, a really good team there. Really good team.
Yeah,
there weren't many games on, to be fair.
A lot of games.
There was a lot of games off.
No, but
well, on Hayward Heath, you mentioned the documentary. Let congratulate him getting around to next round of FA Vars as well. It's fucking big.
Yeah, on
big.
pens.
No, it's big, mate. It's massive. Like, I genuinely think they could end up doing what Littlehampton did. They could get the Wembley.
Well, Gilesy, when he was on the show, right, a few weeks back, he said, you know, he thought they'd go all the way or get there. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
I went down there and had a little look at the 7-1 that was available for them. I had a few drinks on for us boys. Don't worry, lads.
Good. We're going to upgrade the podcast studio soon.
Just in case.
You might be able to buy me a new tree.
Look at the sad state of that thing in the background.
I know.
See the one my missus has got, mate. Looks like the Amazon, mate.
No, mate. Understated. I've been over the top over the many years. I'm very understated this year. It's the best way to be. So that's them doing well. On Horsham YM.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, I think Jolesy is.
I want to see that video. I want to see that
8
video.
players.
8 down to 8. I know.
He needs to watch his discipline out. I'm telling you, he's got a problem. But everyone, by the way, their social media core, the amount of hate it gets is.
Well, I know the guy that does social media, yeah, and
does on purpose.
Yeah, I find it refreshing.
It's a bit like the Shoreham one as well.
Yeah, they don't take themselves too seriously.
No,
you know what I mean. They do. A few admins out there. It's not just YM. It's not just Shorehams and people like that. A few of them out there decides that they want to poke a bear, and they do it. And they know what they're doing, and I'm there all for it. But at the same time, they will take the shit if it backfires on them. You got to be able to take it if you're going to give it.
Yeah.
And everyone will be queuing up. Everyone will be queuing up.
We need to get Jolesy a T-shirt like Mario Balotelli did.
Balotelli, mate. Balotelli.
I'm no good at pronouncing words, am I? We need to get him a T-shirt made with his face on it. Why always me?
True. But yeah, look, that was. I want to see it back. I want to see that video because there's a lot of times, and he's on here, he's watching. There's a lot of times you blame the ref and decisions. Yeah?
Yeah.
If they have marked up, then that's fair enough. If they haven't, whatever you go down to. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I have heard from 2 or 3 people that it was a shocking way. There's a couple of contentious penalties, contentious reds, sin bin. In fact, everything happened in that game.
I've seen
even my mate Alfie Jones went in goal.
I've seen videos, and yeah, a couple of my mate, yeah.
What do you reckon?
To be fair, though,
they got a bit stung on it, or what?
They get the ball. That's the thing. They win the ball, and then it's the
what? Are these the penalties?
Or
the reds?
For YM, I've seen 2 of them, and they win the ball every time. But then I think it's the way they've gone into it, the way they've gone into the challenge looks a lot worse than it is.
I think it's hard, isn't it? Like, look,
Yeah.
I think for me, I find it really boring. Like, we know refereeing decisions haven't been great the last few seasons, right?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
I think we know that, and I think that Giles is always going to be outspoken, and so is his team. And Horsham and Wayne have kind of held that little kind of mantra now that, like,
It's a bit of that siege mentality, isn't it?
Yeah, us against the world.
Yeah,
which I love, really. I love.
I like that.
But I think, end of the day, what you don't want to do is give people perceived perspective, like humans, whether you're a referee, a spectator, in a jury, you're going to have perceived perceptions already of people, right? So you have to run the line really, really carefully. We all know if you pick for jury service, you might be swayed. Let's just say you're going into a big profile case, right? You might be based on what you hear about the person online or you hear on the news. Like if you look at some of the big cases that have been out, obviously the Netflix documentary. I don't know if anyone's watched it. Things like that.
Oh man, I watched it back on the flight from the desert. Mate.
Did you?
I watched all 4 of them. Yeah, that Diddy's a sick one, mate.
Oh,
I can't talk about the music industry, but yeah, no comment on Diddy at all. I think.
I bet Bill's been at a Diddy party, ain't you? Ain't you? Like
baby oil galore.
He's like that. We won't say anything. Moving on from Diddy.
Let's move on. I've not yet. I can categorically say I never saw any baby oil, but I think with regards to that, I think they've got to be careful a little bit of becoming hate figures, because I don't think they're hateful. They're not horrible people. They're actually really like Giles is one of the nicest guys around, right?
Not at all.
And I get it. It's like a little bit of bravado, and it's like that fucking in the trenches. We're a team, but yeah, I don't. I always see the same snipes online and what have you. And look, he's just come on and said Vardinians were up for it and at it and brilliant, because they're in a struggle now themselves down at the bottom. Yeah. That point could be really helpful to their survival. You know, with Lancing again still struggled to beat Seaford at the weekend.
Yeah, they drew 1-1.
They drew 1-1.
Seaford have been on a run, mate.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's down to 10 men. You know, at home.
Oh, what? Seaford had 1 sent off.
Yeah, they 1 sent off.
I didn't know that.
And then obviously Shoreham, what was it, 5-0? They've actually, by the way, in their last 5 games, they conceded more goals than they conceded in the previous 5 games for the other manager. Just saying.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Whether that's because they play better opposition or whatever, the facts are the facts, I think.
But going back to that, the YM point, so you're basically saying you don't want teams or maybe officials getting a preconception that affects potentially judgment on the day.
Basically, yeah, that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and I get that. I do get that.
I think people need to start looking at what he's doing off the pitch to get his team ready every week. That's the value of it, not being, I don't know, the antichrist of X. I think that
I love it, mate.
That's my opinion anyway. Like he knows full well how much I respect him and what he does. So that's me being again as candid as I can on here. Arkfield new manager Ryan Huckle.
Go on, well, you'll know more than me about this, and probably Pendog.
That's what I just wanted to say quickly. Is he an ex-player?
Yeah.
So what?
So he was at Gills.
He a Billy Wood player?
No, he was at Gills. He was at Gills as like a youngster.
Yeah.
He then went on to have like a bit of a non-league career. The problem is we can't really say he's a Hastings United player. He never played a competitive game, so I was a bit. I didn't really get why that he was mentioned as the Hastings United player. No, he'll be back in a bit. We're just carrying on.
So
talking.
what I just wanted to say on that, actually, because I've seen looking like ex-players going back to clubs to manage, like we've seen it with Lewis, and that sort of thing, and it hasn't worked.
No, see, so Ryan Huckle, Ryan Huckle is. I can't work out the connection with Upfield. I don't know if there is any connection. I guess the good thing is I think he'll bring fresh eyes and fresh players in the door. I think he'll do that. I think he has great connections. He's a lovely, from my dealings with him, it was a bit of a tough time actually. He was brought in and he left quite quickly before kicking a competitive ball for Hastings. It was an awkward situation at the time, but we dealt with it okay. It's fine, but he was very, very decent in that situation, and it shows what sort of lad he is, and it's great to kind of see him now go into management because his career got cut short. He's gone into management. I think he was at Welling Town, who I think they're like second bottom in the Skeffel Step 6. So I didn't see that he left there. I might be getting it wrong. People will have to correct me. But he would have come in. He would probably promised changes. He obviously has brought 5 players in the door already, which is great. It's still going to be a hard task. It's never going to be easy, but you know what? Fair play to Upfield for making an out of the box thinking sort of management change. It could have been one of the old people coming in, or it could have been anyone. So I'm really glad they've gone for something a bit bold, and I hope it pays off. And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, then it's probably because they made the change too late. But he's got games. Let's just hope Ryan can go and run, and hopefully he can dig him out of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, that's what I'm saying. When I saw that he's an ex player, but you just see it sometimes. I mean, we can't say anything yet because he's had what one game,
one week. Like they lost 3-0. It is what it is. Like let's see where they are after 5 games or 6-7 games. Like I think that's the key. If you look at any managerial changes, look, it's going to be tough. They were struggling bad, and he and look, they've now got
what is he doing?
He's off on one today, and he's crazy. Lost his head, but I think we've just got to look at it like this. I think we've got to just keep kind of seeing where things lie, where he lies, where things move into the future, and look, hopefully, like he's got, like I say, he's got so many contacts. He's been around the game, so he should be able to drag a few better players in. And if he does, great. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about that.
What happened there, mate?
The power outage, mate.
Oh,
power outage in this house.
What else happened? Much else?
Not really, is it?
Because the clock is ticking, Lee. The clock is ticking.
Oh yeah.
I know. We've gone 29, half an hour more than what I need. It's all right. I'm not being tired yet.
When's your holiday?
That'll be done in a bit. After that, get it hot, let it cool down a little bit, and I can do it in one. But that's what I was going to ask you, Bill. That we really sort of asked you. So when it comes to the women's game, what do you do to get prepared for a game day for that?
Same as you would for a men's. Like it's just different sort of players. That's all it is. You still have to do all your prep. You still have to know all about what team you're playing. You still set up training to. For us, I focus on us rather than the opposition a lot because that level it is what it is. For me at Hastings this time round, we were such a free-flowing scoring team, and we never really struggled to score goals. I've come back, and it's been the biggest problem area is us in the firepower stakes. Let's just say we seem to have found the right balance now of players that we've got in and amongst it. We just now got to kick on. and they've got to get used to playing with each other. So this year was always about just making sure that, like, the club obviously flirted with relegation last year with the women, got relegated with the men. The whole point of me going into the women's team this year was to finish. I looked at it as like finish as hard as you possibly can, beat the points tally that they did last year. I think we've already done that by October, and we'll, I think, won more games than they won in October or something like that. I can't remember, but I look at it and go, same thing, like prep, everything we do it like we are quite in depth. We are very, very in depth with what we do, and I think it's one. I've got good people around me. I make sure I always put good staff around me, good personable people as well. They understand what's going on and the intricacies of what we do with regards to women's football and men's. Yeah. Some of them I've worked with in both men's and women's football, which is great. And it's just about the player. It's how you approach it. Sometimes, you can't scream and shout. Like, ain't gonna work. Me walking in at half time and screaming and shouting at players. Like, we had a torrid game last weekend. We were 3-0 down at half time. Like, it was torrid. It was bad. It was. We just let shit goals in, and rather than me battering them, it was just like, look, just go out. You show me it's a cup game. Show me you got a bit of heart about you. Go and create the chances. It's every chance we could go and get back in this game, and we should have really. We created enough chances to probably win it 4-3. I still felt with a better side, and we lost the game 3-1. So, but they showed me heart and passion, and that they care. And I think sometimes when you lose, if you can lose with a positive, it's not always a bad thing, because we are in this rebuilding stage, like, re-educating what Hastings United should mean in the women's game, and I believe we'll get there again. We're not going to win the league this year. We're not going to.
Do you get a buzz as much as the men's game?
Do I?
Yeah,
it's different. It's really, really different.
Is there the same camaraderie?
Yeah, it is different, Mike. It is different. They're like, but I'm very fortunate. We've got a really good group of girls, like very good group of girls. Some I've known for years, have played for me for years. Players that have played for me previously have come back to play for me here again. So it shows that we do try and do things the right way. But it is different. It is different. Like, there's certain, like, for example, you're not going to be in the change room dancing around after a win.
That's another thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But do you know what? Part and parcel of it, mate. And it's something. Obviously, I've been in the women's game for over 5 years now, and I've been obviously in the men's game a bit longer, and what have you. But I think having the women's experience of being in that game, I think it mellowed me out a bit and probably made me a bit more well-rounded.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, it's been tough going back, not being in the dugout on a Saturday, but I've chose this route at the club I love, and I'm happy, very happy.
Is there more to do potentially at Hastings?
There's always more to do at Hastings, Mike, and I think everyone knows I'm not going to be at Hastings United and sit and watch things go wrong. And like I am. I'm. I think Dave was on not long ago, and obviously.
How's he doing? How are you feeling he's doing?
Yeah,
he's doing brilliant. I like, me and Dave talk every day. I work very closely with Dave.
He's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I'll let the club announce whatever they need to announce publicly, but we work very closely. Yeah, I'm not saying nothing, but like Dave coming in was something that I believe was right for the football club. Is someone I believe in as a manager. I think we've managed to really galvanise and get behind and be busy, not just bringing players in, but changing things and being a bit more flexible and fluid with our weekly approach, whether that's where we train or what we do. I think the players really respect and understand what he's about, and it's still lots. And if you look at his results, I think it speaks volumes for him. Like we sit fifth. I think before the weekend, obviously we didn't play this weekend, but we were fifth in the form table. You know, that says it all. And look, I'm big on this club being the biggest club in East. I've always said it's the biggest for me. It's the biggest club, and like Aggie just, you know, look what Aggie just said about how hard it was to leave Hastings. Hastings is a sleeping giant, and I felt like
what can they do, Bill?
I felt like when I left, Mike, it was and I've said this many times, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Yeah. It felt like I was genuinely leaving my baby. You know, I rebrand.
You were CEO, weren't you?
Yeah, CEO, chairman, kit washer, key holder, everything. And I genuinely love this club so much. Like, I genuinely do. We've got a guest on the pod.
Yeah, it's the housemaid.
Is that Mama?
It's the housemaid. That's the IBB10 mum.
This is the one that drives me mad.
Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, you're live on the pod, by the way.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely love that club, and I think I've been afforded the opportunity to help shape my club's future. Yeah,
like
that makes sense. And I think that goes because the current owners were in fact in and involved when I was there before.
And you got on with them, yeah?
Not just got on with them. Like Ben White, who's not very, doesn't put himself out there a lot, and he's a fucking nightmare at times. He is like he's been one of my closest. If you check my call log for the last 5 years, I think I've called him probably nearly more times than my sister, more times than any of my ex-girlfriends. I think he's someone who's been really close in the good times and bad times, and someone that I would always, when I was in charge, bat ideas off with. And now that he's in charge, we bat ideas off, you know. And I think even coming back in when just initially as the women's manager, it was always, if Billy wants to do something or help out do this, or like, there was no doors shut in front of me, you know.
You made yourself available that if there was something that you could bring to the club, there wasn't a barrier there. They were open to a conversation.
Yeah, and I'm passionate, so I don't like.
I like it.
Like people don't. Yeah. I don't like losing, and I was massively humbled as a human being at Lancing, massively humbled, and I put it up on my thing the other day, you know, about, like, you know, I don't know if anyone saw it, but I put it on my I think it was my Instagram, or so I'll put it somewhere, or Twitter maybe, that like did you see that hashtag thing about, you know, checking in on people with mental health?
Yeah.
And I put that up, and it resonated with me massively, because even though like people like yourself, Mike, and others were checking in on me on that, I got one phone. I'm never going to say who the person was, because I don't want to put that person in the spotlight too much. But I got a call from someone I didn't expect. Well, actually, it was a message I didn't expect in March, around that time, and it was the message I needed. Like, it was something like, it was hard. It was really, really hard, right? And that call or that message, I genuinely think it brought me back to Hastings, right? And
really,
yeah, I can't go into it too much, but it was and it wasn't from Ben, and it wasn't from Dane Martin, who is one of my closest as well at the club, and right, but it was someone who shouldn't give a shit about me did, and it.
Were you shocked then? Were you shocked?
No, I was very happy, and it made me realize, actually, this is a real reflection moment of of my life. You know, you can do all these projects and you can do all these other little bits, and you can think you can walk on water. And genuinely, Mike, I thought I could walk on water. What I thought I touched.
We've all been there, Bill. We've all thought our bollocks
Yeah.
are a little bit bigger than they actually are.
Yeah, 100%. And
sometimes you can pull it off.
And it gave me an opportunity to right a lot of wrongs. Yeah, it gave me a lot of opportunity to right a lot of wrongs, and then the opportunity to come back to Hastings opened up, and it was, I never ever second guessed it. It was like, no, I want to go back, but I'm only going back if it's right, and I feel like we're doing that. And
do you see your future there now
at Hastings?
Yeah.
Look, I'm back. My place
back in the hood.
Even now, like the truth is, where I am right now, I'm back in Hastings, right? I'm back home. I'm back living back at my place in Hastings rather than in Eastbourne, and I'm glad I'm out of Eastbourne, and it's, I don't know, like maybe I'm being a little bit too deep, like for a Sunday night, but I just think
keep spitting those psalms, mate. I'm listening.
I just think, like, in life, everything happens for a reason, like good and bad. It genuinely does. And but remember, because everything happens for a reason, you still have to play a part in people's journey as well. So if you are that phone call, like I said, that March phone call has changed my life for the better, and it really has, right? If anyone out there's listening and they feel they can change someone's trajectory or help them out because of whatever their relationship with that person or whatever it is, right? Do it, because do you know what? Suddenly, all the shit that happened or was happening, then the non-payment for players and all that stuff that happened, whilst it was frustrating, whilst it was upsetting, and whilst it was draining at times, I was fine. And that's why when I could set the record straight with you, Mike, I was at my optimum peace as a person, because I knew that I was strong enough, and I remembered who I was. And that's why I can do this again. This is why I can sit here, be loved, hated, whatever. I don't mind, right?
Because you've been there.
Yeah, but I can do it with compassion, right?
Do you think there's gaffers out there now watching this in these local leagues that we're in that position or feeling that way, where you
can't do anything
a bit alone?
And do you know what? But do you know what it was for me? It wasn't actually losing. Wasn't the problem. That was not the problem for me. It was the vile attacks and and then you lose and then you're humble, because, like you say, I think even Hastings women were doing all right, but we're still losing games of football. I've never, in 3 seasons, I lost 3 games. I've lost more than that already this season. So it's not like I'm suddenly I was a messiah among that level of football. I just had a really good team, and now I'm understanding that there's a longer process to play out here, and it's going to take time. But I'm in the best headspace of my life right now, like genuinely the best. I feel so calm. I feel so content.
You look beautiful, Bill. You look beautiful, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. And I just want people to understand that sometimes, you've got to go through shit to get to where you need to be. And for me, like, next year is going to be a big year, and whether that, not just in football, but in my outside of business, within the entertainment music industry, and within my personal life, like, I feel like it's got me to that moment. And it goes back to that hashtag thing, is think and look after each other, because we're all going to think teams are shit. We're all going to think teams are great. We're all going to think managers are great. We're going to think some are tactical geniuses, some aren't, some don't know what they're doing, some shouldn't have a job, some should have a job. That's just opinions.
Yeah.
Actually, make that one phone call. Someone did it for me. Someone did it for me, and they saved me from quitting football and quitting what I love. So think like that.
So that's the message.
That's my message.
Do you know exactly what you were saying then? And not a lot of people know, and I've said it a couple of times when I've done a live, but last year I was gonna stop doing all my social media. I was stop doing YouTube. I was gonna stop doing this. And it was actually a conversation with that man to my left. I don't know where he is on your screens, but he was the one that told me. So he's there on you. So he was the one, we sat down and had a chat. I think it was on the train or something, or it was a phone call. And he asked me, don't stop. On the train. So he said, don't stop, because this year, I'm going to hit numbers, and I'm now sitting on 5,500 subscribers. I've got a podcast, which I didn't even have an inkling of wanting to do.
Which we've just broken our live attendance
We've
record.
just broken our record.
Yeah, it is.
And we're only the 5th episode in. But it all came down to, I just got to a point where I was just like, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to go anywhere. And yeah, he's like, mate, stick at it, because there's going to be big things happening. And there is, which we can't say. But yeah, there's a lot going forward. And it's all because of that man. So
the message is, when you're low, sometimes you just want a word from someone. You just want a bit of justification. You want that text,
Yeah.
And we've all been in low places.
Yeah.
And we've all been in high places. Yeah. It's recognizing that someone might be struggling, and as we put it, not just managers, players.
Yeah.
And even, as we seen, chairman as well, and chair ladies. So
yeah, look, and I also think you got to understand, all football, especially this level, it's a lot of it is volunteer role, or getting 50 quid or fuck all, right? But it puts so much strain and pressure on your life. I left. I gambled everything on football, right? So it was one of those things for me that I had to deal with a lot, and I made a lot of mistakes on that journey, and yeah, I'll put it right, and I'm gonna continue putting it right, Mike. And there will still be dark days, there will still be problems, there will still be hiccups in the road, there will still be mistakes like galore, but do you know what? Never make the same mistake twice.
Exactly that.
Well, congratulations, Lee, on your record night.
What was the as we're going to be ending in a mo? What was the record?
You just said 1,230.
It was 1,232. Well, what can I say,
but
boys?
There won't be any more, mate, because you're cutting it thin, lad.
I know.
Big boys like me and Bill, we're allowed.
We're staying up.
Yeah, we're going. Bill's still on from the other night. We're still going.
Yes, cool. Yeah, I need to get an early night. Yeah, but look, thanks for Lee. Obviously, I came on. I appreciate you bringing me on this journey with you on this pod, and
you're a big part of it.
What's that?
You're a big part of it.
I appreciate it, and I think for me, I never thought I'd do a pod. To be honest, I never thought I'd be a host on a podcast. But I think what you guys are doing on the day-to-day basis within the football realm, the football circles, especially in Sussex, I think they don't go unnoticed by people. And I think I'll play my little small cog in this wheel, and we'll keep turning, and I'll depress people with conversations like I just had now.
Mate, it's banter,
Bill. It's banter.
It's banter, but it's not depressing as well, because if there is any managers out there, just get in touch.
Yeah. Look, anyone that knows me, I always love. I love talking. So if you want to have a chat and you want someone who won't judge you, but
he won't talk about the Diddy parties.
There'll be no conversations about P Diddy.
No conversation about Bill and the Diddy parties.
By the way, I never looked after Puffy, so it's all right. But yeah, LA is wild, as we know.
But yes, so it is 10 to 10. So it's very
in bed.
Now. Yeah, I need to get into bed. Yeah, teeth, everything, pajamas, bed. But as always, guys, thank you very much. A massive thank you to everyone watching that broke the record
57.
tonight. Yeah, and also a big thank you to Aggie for coming on.
Yeah, what a class
and letting us know how his journey's going, and the whole Worthing thing. So massive thank you to him. And boys, I'm going to leave it there. Say next Sunday, we've got Mitch Hand on.
Yeah,
Hand
Lambton, and he'll tell it how it is, mate.
Yeah,
He does.
I look forward to that one. That'll be good.
Yeah, mate.
And then
I love doing the dugout diaries with him. He's a legend.
Yeah, I will back in time.
Okay.
We've got Ashmount Lee away at Dawkins Ground. So
even if you join late,
Hello,
mate.
I'll join with the cowboy
just
hat
don't
on.
join. Yeah, just don't join at the fucking Smith and Wesson again, mate. All I could hear was people ordering fucking, the chicken and the ribs.
I know, it's poor by me. Sorry about that.
Also, then from Mitch Hand, we're going to be building for our big Christmas special with Paul Wise, Tommy Haddon, and Lowell Edwards for the Christmas special 2-hour pod.
I'll wait for that.
I will be leaving at 9:59 because I will need my sleep.
Yeah, go on then, off, Leroy.
So, gentlemen, as always, thank you. Everyone else, thank you. We'll see you next Sunday for the IBB10 Sunday Vibe. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys. Take care.